Going on, guys? How we doing? How we doing? Give everyone a few minutes to get in, as usual. Just sending out a post here to let everyone know we're going live. All right, all right. How we doing today? How we doing? Cheddar, Humble, Don, Quick Soul. Never know how to say your name, but Crypto New, Hassan, Panda King, Cypress, Always Forward, Coin Master, Bradley. Going on, guys? How we doing today? Mitra, Dongdi, Grazella, Kaladin, Lycaon, MT, Russ, Jugoslavin. How we feeling today, guys? How we doing? It's been a long range that we've been in. Been tiring. Feels like it's been 2-3 months that we've been in this range. I think it's only been like 2 weeks, but it's been brutal. Let me share my screen. Let me know if you guys can hear me all good too, just to confirm. And then let me know if you can see my screen as well. Oh. Okay, cool. Share my screen. You guys see my screen as well? G-Talk, Lus, Rinku, welcome, guys. Beauty. Give everyone another minute or two here. We'll fire it up. So King David actually won't be on today. He's got some other stuff that came up, unfortunately, but hoping to have him on next week for you guys. I want to get him on because he's been around just as long as I have inside of here using these bots, and it's good to see how other people approach the bots because everyone has their own style in trading, obviously. So I want to get a few of the guys who have been doing really well with the bots on eventually, because I think it's valuable for the community to see how other people approach the bots outside of just myself. So we'll look to set something like that up in the future. But we'll get King on next for sure. So next week when we run the stream, he should be good to hop on. Hassan, yeah, honestly, the last 2 weeks, especially if you are not experienced, like these ranges are brutal. It's just literally designed to take your money, chop you out, make you impatient. All of like, it's been tough, even for some of the best traders in Wealth Group and stuff. It's the same thing. Most of them actually just try to avoid trading these types of things. They take some time off. The number of trades that they give out per day goes down drastically. It becomes more about patience and quality over quantity when in this. Like I've gone over to in the ranges, right? Like you're looking to operate at range lows and range highs. You're like, if you are trying to take trades anywhere in this general area, you're getting just rinsed both ways, right? Like that's what it's designed for. So like I said, it's designed to make you think we're going to break out at range highs and designed to make you think we're going to break down at range lows, and it traps longers up here, traps shorters down here, reverts to the other side, and anything you do in the middle is just like it doesn't get choppier than that. You will just flip-flop your bias, long, short, blah, 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 and you will just lose money. So honestly, if you are inexperienced, trading these ranges is very difficult, and the best thing you can do is just take that time to backtest, take that time to study, take that time to develop a new strategy or build your current strategy, right? Network inside of communities like this. Like these are all valuable things that you can continue to do to build yourself up without having to like sit at the screens all day just looking at charts that aren't really doing much. So All right, guys. 1 sec here. Let me drink some coffee. Okay, so we'll do a little bit of a market recap here, and then we'll dive into some of the content. It was going to be a bit longer because King was going to hop on, but like I'm more than happy to do extended Q&A and things like that. So, but essentially, literally last time we were on stream, this exact price action right here was happening, and I was explaining to you guys how to trade the ranges. And again, this price action looked like it was going to break out. And I was saying, don't be too bullish unless, well, don't be bullish at all unless we actually were to flip the level, right? Because it's the same thing as what happened here. Same thing as what happened here. This is early on in the range, but same thing, right? It's just range highs. So what a range essentially means is that you have whole thing here. What happens in a range is you have sellers stepping in here, right? And so ranges happen after we have big moves like this, right? We wiped out like 10 billion in the market on this. We had just a massive move to the upside. People got rinsed on both sides in dramatic numbers. So what happens now is the market needs to find a new balance. So what that means is this is the price points where people are willing to buy down here and people are willing to sell, right? Sellers and buyers compressing the price inside of this range until eventually one side breaks, until eventually the buyers become too much that the sellers cannot continue to sell up here, and we actually break out of the range, and all of the people who are short or have built short positions start covering and closing their positions, and we break higher, and the people will start chasing the price. Same with the downside. We break down, the buyers can no longer sustain the price at these levels, and the sellers end up winning. And then, the buyers have to puke their positions and we go down. So last time we were on stream, I told you guys we were up here. This is still a range until broken. Don't get too bullish. And literally exactly as a range should. We rejected, we came under here, and then we rejected again this daily resistance after chopping for a while, and we rotated down. From there, I let you guys know, this was yesterday. Get rid of this here. That we had a test down here. So I let you guys know in the gold chat. For those that don't know what the gold chat is where you get access to when you get the bots, and it's just the chat where everyone shares ideas, shares their thoughts on the market, the plays that they're taking. So shared it here. And this is what I do every single day that you guys should be doing with these bots, is just hop on, chart out your support and resistance levels using our bot, and just build a daily bias. You can see the results. Like we called it up here, rotated down here. If you took shorts or at least TP'd your longs and waited, perfect. You didn't lose any money in this range. Stayed patient. You had the discipline to wait for the extremes, and then we got the extremes, and I shouted this out in here. Maybe we see a 30-minute div or whatever. We hold here, we move back, we reclaim the range. We didn't get the 30-minute div. That's fine. Whatever. We held this. We pumped back up. If you didn't get position down here because you didn't necessarily want to knife catch, gave you a nice retest of range lows here after reclaiming it, and up we went, rotated to range highs. So it's just a game of ranges right now, and it can be difficult, but it doesn't have to be. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys is there is a way to play these ranges that, yes, it may be more boring than your typical market. And, you do have to have a lot more patience, and, you can fumble that by getting impatient. And I do it too, all the time, and just wanting to be in a position. So you just force something that you shouldn't be forcing. And yeah, you end up paying the price most of the times, but ranges can be played with patience, playing the extremes, and just choosing your spots, and you can still make a lot of money. Not as much as when we're trending, but that's fine. Like, this is part of the game, right? So that's a little bit on Bitcoin, and then Ethereum, similar thing here. So that day we hopped on stream, it looked like we were breaking out. Instead, we kind of came up, swept all these highs here, accepted back down, came down, bearish retested this one after bouncing here. And we didn't quite get down to the previous range lows here. So I was saying maybe we can expect something down here like this. Ethereum actually showed a lot of strength, and we held here after sweeping these lows. SFP'd those lows, held, and actually pushed back up. You can see now we're trying to reclaim this level here, chop around here a bit maybe, and if we do, make a push up here, right? Either reject or we flip. You just play it level to level. So but building the daily bias, like I've been trying to share with you guys in here, is super important because I'll also show you the RSI heat map plot. When I looked at this and we were coming down into the daily support as well as the supports on Bitcoin and Ethereum, I looked at the RSI heat maps chart. This is the 1 hour. Like this is going to show you all the alts in the market. You can see everything's completely oversold, like heavily oversold, right? Like you can expect logically that we're going to bounce soon. And then you look at the 4 hour, even the 4 hour, like we're cooked on alts, right? Like we've been selling off, like we should be seeing a bounce soon. And so you just literally look at this, say, okay, we're in support on Bitcoin and ETH, and also look like this. Well, what's the result? Like you could have longed literally anything when I gave you that piece of information there. So pay attention to those because they're not just random. It's the same as this when I gave you guys the range highs here that you could have shorted or at least TP'd your longs and not FOMO longed. Because if you looked at the RSI heat maps here, it would have been complete opposite of this, where all the alts would have been up here overbought. So, these are powerful tools to build a daily bias by just simply looking and saying, are we at support resistance? Yes or no? Is the general market on alts overbought or oversold? Okay, maybe we bounce, maybe we reject, right? So, and like we could probably take a look now that we're near range highs, just for the sake of taking a look here. RSI heat map. So if we go to, let's just look at the 30-minute, you're going to see probably the majority are sitting in overbought for the 1 hour. Right? So my point exactly is if you were to come on and log on right now and see that, okay, we are at range highs on Bitcoin. We are at range highs on ETH, this general area, and altcoins look like this, right? You're not going to want to just FOMO into longs. That's the wrong move. Doesn't mean you have to short, but you can wait till we flip the range high, meaning, we get a move like this where we sweep some liquidity, chop around here, maybe sweep again, and then you start seeing this flipping, whatever. Then you can look to position into longs here because we're now flipping the range, right? So what we could have looked for down here, instead of getting this, where we reclaimed the range and accepted back, if you've seen price like this, and then reject and then come down here, right? We're now losing the range. So you could have shorted this here if this had happened, just like you could have longed this on the reclaim. So it's just level to level. And these levels, for those that are new, I say this all the time, but it's important. These are pulled from 3 years worth of data, meaning that these levels are extremely strong. You couldn't even eyeball these if you tried. Like it's just pure math, pure data. And they're just generated in an instant like this when you have our bots, Bitcoin, ETH, and Sol. 4 hour daily instantly generates these for you, and you can just draw these on your charts. And that's where you guys see all of my levels come from when I do these breakdowns and the Twitter posts and things like that. So yeah, just let me know your guys' thoughts if you have any questions. It's kind of just a general market overview. Again, we've just been ranging, but we did call range highs with the rotation down, and we did call, the range low test here yesterday, and now we've rotated up. So I hope that these are helping and you guys have been making money from these, or at least staying safe and not FOMO longing or shorting. But let me know how you guys have handled this range. If you have any questions on this before we dive in. or even just general comments like, how have you found trading this range? Have you struggled? Has it been difficult? Have these updates been helping you? How often do you update these levels? Like once we break down or break out, do you ever clean up your chart and get rid of the lines or just keep them there? Yeah, so I'll just come in and click daily or 4 hour each day, and they're generally the same. Like there might be one or two levels that change, and like if we're ranging like this, then generally the levels will stay the same as price is just kind of bracketing in between, a 2, 3, 4% range. But if we start breaking out and trending and whatnot, then you'll probably get different levels as we go. But like quite honestly, I just take a quick look every day after drawing them in, and maybe every 2 or 3 days there's like one or two levels that shift a little bit. Other than that, they generally stay the same. So it's definitely super easy to just keep them on there and just check every day or two. Yeah, Mellow. That's exactly. It's like it's been difficult, and traders have environments that they thrive in and environments that they struggle in. Some people absolutely thrive in a range, like Woods. He absolutely kills ranges. Like he's a range killer. So like he thoroughly enjoys when prices like this just as much as he enjoys when it's trending. And most people like myself, I don't like this type of environment as much. I still have learned and utilized the tools inside of WoodsBot to take full advantage of it. It's just not as action packed. That's really it. It's like some days you'll take a position, some days you literally won't, and you just wait, and you just have to be okay with that. I'm struggling to manage emotions in past years, have made a lot of money and lose a lot of money to the gold. Happy to hear that, Bobby. Um, what I want to start doing too moving forward, as we've covered a lot of the technical analysis of things, um, is I want to talk more about the psychological aspect of things. And I want it to be an open discussion because, guys, I've only been trading like 2.5 years. Like, by no means am I some, guru, mastermind, pro. I've been around the block. Woods was one of my mentors at the very start, so I learned under him. Um, and I have come a long way. But at the same time, I do feel that like the psychology of trading is a very open discussion, and like I definitely want to have more of an open conversation with you guys because I think it's important to go through. And I'll be making videos on how to handle FOMO, greed, fear, things like that with our bots. So I definitely want to like continue to explore all areas of trading with these streams. So moving forward, I do want to talk about emotions and what it looks like to get over your fear or your FOMO or your greed, and whether that's sizing up, sizing down, using different bots, trading or not trading, things like that. So definitely we'll go over things like that, Bobby. But I'm happy to hear that these tools are helping you out. Can you go over really quickly the RSI, OBOS, and what the bar count after the first number means? That's new to me. Never seen. Wondering how I can implement this. Yep, for sure. Great question. Thank you. So you mean this here? Like the 30? Chat's just loading on my phone. So. Sorry, I'm on my laptop, so I gotta open chat in the phone. See the response here. Yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. So for those that don't know, OBOS bot is overbought, oversold is what that stands for. We have it on 30-minute, 15-minute, and the 4 hour. And this is going to show you every, hold on, my coffee machine's going here. It's just shutting off. I don't know how loud it is, so I'll just wait a sec. You know we love that coffee around here. All right, so this is going to show you which alts are oversold or overbought on their RSI on the corresponding time frame. So so this number here, first of all, means this is the 28 and the 30 read on the RSI, meaning that the RSI would be, you know, oversold below the 30 here and overbought above the 70, and it'll give you that read. Now, when you see this here, this means that there's a divergence. So not only does this OBOS bot show you which coins are overbought and oversold to look for plays, like kind of handing you, these coins here are oversold, like you could probably expect a bounce soon mathematically from their RSI, but it also gives you which ones are making a div. And this number here means this is how many candles between, like, for the div. So it's just, there's, 6, like, let's look. What is this? S. I'll just show you guys. So we have S. So this one is clearly just going bananas, but it would have had the div here. It's breaking the div now. Like, yeah, so it would have had the div right here, but it's breaking it, but it would be 9 candles between it is essentially what it would mean. Like, it actually doesn't look like it's 9. This is a bad example because it's like, it's just pumping, so it's breaking the divs. But that's what it'll mean, is like it's showing a 70 read on the RSI, has this additional, then it's making a div currently, and this is how many candles between the div is. So yeah, not only does this bot give you which ones are oversold and overbought to look for, but it'll also tell you which ones are making a divergence. So like, just hands you plays essentially if you pay attention and back test with this one. It's my favorite bot inside the Discord. Personally, I think it's the most powerful one for finding new plays. And if you haven't played around with it, I highly suggest, taking a look through the videos I've created, as well as starting to back test this, because you can just literally, if you wanted to back test, just go to you can just spend 2 hours in here and look through 100 coins. Go to the ones that showed that there was a div, and you can see how it played out, and just go back and look at them all. And it's the hit rate's crazy. It's basically literally just hands you plays on a silver platter. So yeah, that's a good question. Anyone else have any questions? Couldn't be anything too. Like, we'll get into what I was talking about on the event being, what are we covering? So we're going to look at like trade execution for 30-minute divergences, because that's probably what the people inside of here use, is the 30-minute divs, whether that's the OBOS or that is the 30-minute divergence bot, and into Monday high, Monday low, things like that. So I know a lot of people have asked, how to take a trade when you have the divergence, and I'll break that down for you, and I'll break down how to use the tools and stuff, but I'm going to link you guys that are interested. And if Cypress, if you could just get this like ready now. So Woods has education on YouTube, and he'll teach you support resistance, supply and demand, structure, things like that, like the general trading aspect. Whereas like, I'll teach you guys how to use the bots and stuff, but like, I'm not really teaching, and I could teach, but like, I'll leave that to Woods and his educational stuff, because he is actually like a pro trader. So he does this for a living. He teaches like supply and demand, SFPs and structure and things like that. And I'll go over it today, but for those who don't understand, I just want to say that like, we'll link that in there, because Woods has educational stuff on YouTube. So all right, if we got no more questions, we can dive into how to execute with 30-minute divergences. This coin looks crazy. And just for example's sake, like, let's just look at some of the bots here, because I feel like it's probably on a funding bot. Damn, it's not. I don't know what S is, but this thing's going crazy. It's got some of the highest volume on the 1 hour, 4 hour. If a coin is showing up as highest volume on this, like, you got to pay attention to that, because like, it's showing up with the greats, like you got XRP, LTC, Sol, BTC, ETH. So Trump, Pepe, Fartcoin, like the big coins, Doge, Sui. So like when a coin's showing up that like you don't necessarily know what it is, even like virtual and stuff, it's like that coin is getting a lot of volume. Like just know that. So good bot to pay attention to. But let's take a look here at some execution on the, and let me know. Just like let me know in the chat because S is Sonic. Okay, I've seen some posts on Sonic. I don't know what was going on. Okay, that makes sense. Damn, it's a bullish ass chart. So let me know too because I am doing streams. So do you guys want me to cover 30-minute divergences and like some of the ways that you can look to execute as in take trades with those alerts? Like, is that valuable to you guys? Do you want to talk psychology? Do you want to talk different indicators or bots that we have? Like, just let me know. Just you can say yes or no, it doesn't matter. But like, do you want to talk about 30-minute divergences? Like, is that valuable to you guys right now? This is your guys' time. So literally whatever you want, I'm here for you guys. Several people typing. I love it. Let's go. How to take entries from the alerts. Okay. Taylor, man, it's been a while. I haven't seen you forever. It's good to see you back here. Brazil says yes. Cheddar says yes. Okay. The tribe has spoken. All right, cool. We'll go ahead with it then. So first and foremost, let's just get Cypress. Can you link Woods' like educational YouTube in the chat there? So the things I'm going to be going over are supply, SFPs as in sweeps of highs and lows. We have covered already how to execute with things like Monday's high and stuff, and we'll take another look at that today. And eventually, too, we've taken down these. Why can't I think of it? Oh, support and resistance bot currently for alts because we are updating it. So eventually, soon here, you guys will have, I believe, a new bot where you can search any alt you want because we only had the 25 different alt drop down menu. And so we will be updating that so you can basically look at any alt you want. And then we can again cover how to do the 30-minute divergence into support and resistance. But right now we'll cover supply and demand, SFPs, so swing failures, meaning like sweeps of highs and lows, and Monday's high, like Monday's range. So these are three different kind of ways that you can look to execute when you get these 30-minute divergences. And for those that don't know, you can I'll just link Woods's I'll link his educational stuff for you guys. So those that are new to trading or are not sure of the basics, like Woods has a ton here, order blocks, supply, demand, support and resistance. So I want you guys to go through these that are uncertain on, the things that I'm talking about today. So this will obviously be recorded, and what you can do is watch it back and go through the different spots where it's like supply and demand after you watch his Wood stuff so that you can understand what I'm saying. But for those that already understand the basics, like this will all make sense to you. But I'll link that in the chat. So whoever is kind of new or whoever just wants to go through that, just open it up on your thing and just keep that for now because you'll be able to reference that. Okay, so let's start with supply. So supply and demand are the same thing. They just are, one is supply, one is demand. So what we're going to do for the divs, I'm going to go over price action right here. So like we talked about last time, you can look for longs on alts here. You can look for shorts on alts here, right? Like you don't have to play Bitcoin, but like the same way that you could have longed anything in the market here, you could have shorted anything in the market here, longed anything in the market here. So when Bitcoin came here, you like literally you probably had 100 plus alerts for just 30-minute divergences. And now you're probably thinking, okay, well, how do I decipher this? How do I take a play? Can't trade all 100 coins, obviously. How do I choose? How do I execute? That's what we'll go over today. Same as here. When I called this out last stream live, you could have looked for any altcoin short in the market, and there would be, I looked, there's like 50 pages just of 30-minute divergences that you could have chosen from to play. And we're going to go over a bunch of them with different ways that you could have looked to execute that. And that's just 30-minute divergences. You could have looked at OS, you could have Monday range bot, you could have looked at, any number of things that we offer that I've gone over that are on the YouTube that I've taught in Gold Chat, blah, 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 to position yourself at this point, right? So this is the price action day we're going to look at. And one of the things I also will cover simultaneously is that this here. So Gold Alpha is a new channel I started where I share with the Gold members like real good tidbits of information that they should keep. But this here, basically how to backtest, and I made a video on Cypress editing up. So it's how to backtest, and we'll just go over that. We're going to be looking at, so this day is February 14th. So come into here, we use this command on to search for a date. You just literally click February 14th. Now this will filter everything from the 14th. Now we want to look at 30-minute divergence. Go in, right? In, type this into search to search for message any specific channel. And we're going to look at 30-minute divergences. Type in RSI, click this. Now you're seeing every 30-minute divergence. So this is ways that you guys can backtest, just as like an aside to what I'm showing you right now. You could go backtest any price action in any bot, whatever, on this date, just from using these prompts that I'm showing you. So basically what I did to do this video was, okay, decided we're going to look at price action here, came in, use these prompts, scroll through, and you can see there's 44 pages on that day alone, RSI 30-minute divergences, right? So just type in a page, and I just opened up a few of these charts, got the ones I'm going to look at, and yeah, that's just showing you guys how you can use the Discord to your advantage. But let's look at SPX now. On the 14th is what we're looking. Okay, so here we have your divergence. For those that are uncertain what divergences are, section, well, I'm just going to link it just for purposes. Actually, I'll just link this one because this will all be able for you guys to just back and easily access the information I'm trying. So also for those who are uncertain how to play RSI divergences, go to the education section there, and that's going to give you the information. So at the same time Bitcoin came into range highs, we had all of these alts making 30-minute divergences. Now this one made 2. This was 1. Focus on the most recent one. So divergence means your price made a higher high. Means this higher high on price, lower high on your RSI, hence the divergence. Now this line here is what the old Monday's high was. I believe it was, but for purposes, we're just going to use this additional conflict. So you had a 30-minute divergence. Actually, use this because this is the section. So this box here is a supply block. So you have demand and supply in the, and those videos I sent of Woods will help you identify them, but they act as resistance. So you can see the first time we tested into the second time we both rejected. This time we swept the full supply block, but we put in a 30-minute divergence inside of this. So literally this block that you could have on your chart is going to act as resistance until you get candle closures and you flip it. Same as our support resistance levels. So this is resistance. This is a supply block. And for those that don't know how to identify these, the videos that I sent will help you do that. And you can reference this again. But this is a resistance. Simply put, just look at it as a resistance. Now, when you got the alert inside of the Discord of the 30-minute divergence, you know that this is resistance. You know that until this block has, at least an hourly closure or a few 30-minute closures or 15s above, that this is resistance. And you know that your RSI is sitting up here. And if you're paying attention, you also had, this is the second divergence. So you have really good triggers here to look at it. Okay, logically, this is at resistance. I now have a 30-minute bearish divergence, meaning that the buyers are losing momentum. So you're losing momentum on the long side into. Logically, you can look at this and say, okay, this is probably a safe short. Bitcoin's also at range highs, right? You can just logically look at this, but how do you execute? So after this candle closed here, I believe this is what would have confirmed the divergence. You could have positioned, whatever, say it just closes. One of the easiest ways is to position into the confirmed div with stops above the actual divergence itself. And like this one is going to be 4%, but generally like you'll get it to be like the candle will close and you'll have like a 2 or 3% stop loss to have it just above. But I don't like to put it necessarily just above. I'd like to put it, 1 to 2% above the wick that created the div, just in case we revisit it for whatever reason. But in this case, the candle closed and it's 4%. So, just make it 5%. And just do this to start. Like, it doesn't matter that it's a 5%. Yeah, sure, your risk to risk, but like, that's not the point. The point is to learn to execute these, and then you can start to tighten your stops as you become more proficient with doing this. Target some lows down here. This is like a crazy volatile coin. So like targeting a 12% move seems crazy. So logically, you target like this. Right? So the divergence comes into the Discord. You look, the candle had closed here. You can simply put your stops just, 1% above in this case because it's 5%, and you can enter that position. And if you're not comfortable doing this too, like on the day that these divs happened, you could have went into your chart and just put 50 of these P&L things on there without taking a position, come back and looked at that data. Like, you don't have to take positions. You need to practice, you need to execute in practice even, and you need to understand pattern recognition. You need to understand, right? You could go back and say, okay, 37 of these trades actually played out. Well, what happened with these trades? Were they sweeping Monday high? Were they in supply when it happened? Were they not overbought when the div happened? So like, you don't necessarily have to take the positions, but yeah. Candle closes, you can take the position because now your div is in the supply block, right? Like, you can see that you rejected the high. Go to the hourly. Like, you never closed outside of that. That's a good indication that, you could take this short. And like, I don't even know what was played out till that point, but like, from the time you would have entered that trade till here. So like, that was a 1-day trade, and you caught an 18% move just to there. Like, the thing absolutely melted down for 30%. So that's how you can play these supply blocks, is just, that this is a resistance, and until it's flipped, when you get a div into it, you can position into it, because it's resistance. It's the same as a support and resistance level, right? Take another look here. So ZBCN, this coin has been trending and trending and trending. And what we have here, you can see that this is a supply block, 4-hour supply block. It'll write it on the right side there. So So you can see that this candle was the last up candle before a move down, an impulsive move down that broke the structure. So again, this may not make sense to everyone, but watch the videos. You have higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, and then what do you get? You get a break of structure. You're no longer making higher highs and higher lows. What are you doing now? You're making lower lows and lower highs. You've broken structure. So this was the last candle before that impulsive move structure, meaning buyers tried to push this up, but this is the point, the supply point where all of the sellers stepped in and or sold, causing this impulse move down. So this is a supply block. So you know that the next time that price comes into this is going to act as resistance. This is going to be a point where it struggles. And if it flips it, bullish. If not, you can expect a rejection. Now what happens? Price does not test it for a while. And let's look at what happens when it does. Same day, the 14th, you have a 30-minute divergence into that 4-hour supply block that we talked about. And what happens? You can see, like, it's a big rejection. It's going super volatile. You get a 20% rejection out of it, right? But again, you had your divergence at the same time Bitcoin made its divergence, and it was called inside of the Discord, alerted. And you could have opened your chart, and if you understood supply and demand specifically for these examples, you could have said, oh, this is and obviously the higher the time frame supply and demand, the more powerful it is. If it's a daily, it's stronger than a 4-hour. If it's a 4-hour supply demand, it's stronger than a 1 hour. And, just the way it goes. Same with resistance and support. So you made a clear divergence into a sweep of your supply block. This is resistance. You know that until this is flipped and like closes above it, you're going to reject. That is your base case for the supply block. It is resistance. Now, again, this came up, swept, closed here. You could have just positioned at the candle closure with your stops. This is 3.8, perfect. Make it 5. Just give yourself a little bit of room so that if price does, for whatever reason, go back up and even sweeps it again, makes another div, whatever, you're safe. Don't put it directly above, because sometimes it'll just take the liquidity. That's why I like to do 1 to 2% above. And, realistically, you have demand in here, whatever, just target these lows. Something like this. And what do you get? How long? Takes again, just 24 hours, one day. You rotate down for a 20% move. One of these plays can make you 2-3 days profit, right? Like the other one went way down, but it still went 15-20%. And it's just simple, right? You're just timing it with this. That's it. You got the alert at the same time Bitcoin came into resistance. Okay. Bit of general TA, you've got your 4-hour supply block, boom. Divergence, you sweep and leave the SFP, meaning the wick goes above, but it doesn't close above. You just position at the candle close. So that's one way you can position into these. Let me know if you guys have questions on the supply and demand. For those that understand supply and demand, this will make total sense. You just have your div into supply or demand, and it acts as resistance. It's a good confluence to take that play, as opposed to whatever. Say this is thin air here. This isn't even a divergence, is it? Yeah, it is. Let's say it's thin air. There's probably something here, but say there's no supply or demand or whatever here. It's just kind of thin air. It's in the middle of nowhere. It's you don't have the additional confluence to say, okay, this is now. I know that this is where sellers are willing to step in. A 30-minute divergence means that we're losing momentum on the buy side into the area that I know there are sell orders waiting and people stepping in to take profit and also short this and sell. So, and these act again as support resistance, because what happens here? You reject this time, you reject here lightly, but then look, you flip it and you can play it, right? It's a support resistance level. First touches into it are the most powerful. fill the orders that are waiting, right? This is going up and this is filling orders and people are taking profits. That's why you get the result. You're losing momentum as people fill and as people short and as people take profit, and you're going to get that. The loss of momentum is going to play out there. Not always, but like in this case. Okay, any questions on supply and demand? Again, if you don't know, just watch those videos there. Woods explains them beautifully. Okay, cool. So now let's go to SFPs. So this is another super simple way that you guys can position into these 30-minute divergences. So an SFP is a swing failure pattern. So what is a swing failure pattern? For instance, this here is not a swing failure pattern. Does anyone know why? Does anyone know why this one here is not a swing, but this one is? So this one is not, but the top one is. Does anyone know why? That's exactly it. Good shit. So this candle closed above the sweep here. So it was not an SFP. It was not a swing failure pattern. This came up, took the liquidity from above, and closed below. So we did not close the candle body above. That is a swing failure pattern. If you don't know, just Google SFP. They're everywhere. Super easy to look for, especially at key swing points, right? And this is a key swing point. You know, we made this move up. We never tested this wick until here. And what happens when we did? When we did test it, not only did we get the swing failure pattern, but it happened at the exact same time, guys, that Bitcoin was here and we were looking for shorts. Exact same time. So now, if you understand SFPs, you can also position off of this, because now you have the swing failure pattern, most likely. And if we start closing above, it's a super easy invalidation because we're going to flip it. Now, don't do it on just any wick. Like, this is clearly a key structural wick, right? Like I said, this is like clear as day. You know, it's different than this. This is like, again, watch the videos on structure and supply and demand and all that, and Woods will explain. But like, this wick and high is different than this for obvious reasons. And so what happens? We come up, we put that 30-minute divergence into the sweep and rejection. Now, what can you do? Again, at any point in here, after confirming the hourly, what else did we confirm the SFP on? Every time frame, so we never closed above it. You can wait till you confirm the 2 hour, whatever. You confirm a ton of time frames that you SFP'd this high, and you can position, say, anywhere in here. You have a few hours to look at this one. How high, right? One, beautiful. So just put it like 3%, 3.5%. Give yourself a bit of room. Give yourself a bit of room in case we come up, swing, or not, well, yeah, SFP again, but also put in another div. Because that happens all the time. Do not position just directly above it. Just give yourself a bit of room. You know, target, whatever. These lows here. Takes like, trade never comes back up, tries, you're still in if you position that point in here. You know, if it was down here, like maybe you got taken out break even, but you still caught. You're still caught even if you positioned at the low of that little cluster. A 9% move. Like, you're paid. You're good. So that's another way, SFPs. And these are super easy to study in the charts. Just look up SFP, watch some of Woods' stuff. So we have supply and demand. They're the same thing. One's just short, long. And we have SFPs. SFP can be to the upside, downside. It doesn't matter. Another example of an SFP here. And just like, I'll keep saying it, but all of these plays and divergences happened at the exact same time that Bitcoin reached range highs. We're live on the last stream. I told you guys, don't FOMO along here. TP your short or TP your longs. Look for some shorts. Wait till we flip if you're going to long anything. And you can see why. So again, we have, and even here, look at, so this one SFP'd here, get the rejection. This one comes up here, SFPs, you get the rejection, but you put in the 30-minute div happens right here. You put the 30-minute div in, sweep at the same time Bitcoin's at range highs. You can look to position anywhere in here or here. Like once we start rejecting here and you look, you see that, okay, you know, we're not even going to retest it again. It doesn't matter anywhere in here. Like what I'm looking for. Just say like you got in late. It's 2.6. You know, give yourself 3.5, 3.75, whatever. Give yourself a bit of room. Target even an 8% move. You know, comes up here. I mean, you probably weren't taking out break even on or positioned late. That's fine. Makes a 1% move down, 2%. So maybe you were, but maybe you got back in, maybe you compounded, but that's how you can execute these SFPs. Goes up, does not close any candle body above, and you're looking at 30-minute divergence. Just use the 30-minute and hourly closures to confirm those SFPs. If you confirm on 4-hour and stuff, even better. And these obviously all did. Like if you look at the 4-hour chart, right? You can just see both of these. Comes up, sweeps the liquidity, closes below, goes down, puts in a higher low this time, comes up, sweeps the liquidity again. You get 4-hour closure, and you had, you know, 4, 8, 12. You had like almost an entire day position into this one if you did want. And like, I mean, you really do just have like a general range here. You could have just been targeting, you know, back down to the liquidity at the lows. You know, you sweep range highs, you get your SFP confirmation with the 30-minute divergence at that SFP, rotate down, like an 11% move on AVAX. Like that's huge. Like, you know, and just position your stops. Like I said, guys, to execute these, just position your stops 1 to 2% above. When you get more proficient at this, you can tighten your stop. But for the sake of backtesting and learning and risking capital, give yourself breathing room, because you will see that they make either another div, it'll flip it, but it'll also fail and come back down. But like, just don't put it directly above, because it's a liquidity point, right? Like price could target that again before it goes down, and you don't want to be taken out and then miss the move and lose your money. So for the sake of practicing and becoming proficient in this, just give yourself some, might be first, but that's fine. You're learning as you understand it more. You can tighten your stops, and with these 30-minute divergences, combining supply and demand, SFPs, Mondays, high and low, support resistance, you can really catch some nice, tight, high RR plays, but that comes later. So any questions on SFPs, QPs, let me know. And let me know, you know, is this making sense? Am I going another example as an SFP, literally anything. All right, everyone. That's my chat. Appreciate you always. All right. So we're all SFP masters now. Let's go. Good stuff. Okay, so just opening chat on my phone. Okay, cool. That's SFPs. Now let's look at Monday range. And we've been over this one, right? Monday range, you know, multiple ways to play. You can play it as an SFP, where we come up and we sweep Monday's range, or you can play it as just a divergence above with acceptance back below, right? So this was the 14th. This one happened prior, but as I was, and I don't know if this was Monday range, I think it was, but whatever. For the sake of practicing right now, we're going to say that this was the range high. And if this was the range high, how would you execute with 30-minute divergences? So we have this one here, divergence. This was prior to the point of Bitcoin, but it's the same thing. Have a divergence. Okay. Well, how do you execute? Because it looks like, yes, we put a divergence flip. You know, once we accept back below and you get like an hourly or 2 hourly closes below, you can position. Again, just give yourself some space. Target down here. And like this is realistic trading because you're not like every play you get, you're not just going to hit 20% bangers. You know, maybe you catch a 2-3% scalp and you take a TP1, your stops are break even. Okay, sweet. Like you're going to ultimately have 80% of your plays end up like that. You know, you're not going to have every play end up like what we're looking at back testing and like, yeah, it was perfect as it played out, but like it's not the reality. So whatever, you catch a 2-3% scalp on these, like sweet. You didn't even take any trade until we accepted back into Monday range. We didn't take it up here until we had some more confirmation, but you can still take that trade once it accepts after the divergence above, and before it even gets to your stop loss, right? If we start consolidating back above and you see like price is not losing Monday low, you can cut the trade early, wait, but you have the triggers of a 30-minute divergence, lost momentum, accepting back under the level. Okay, take the position. Get a 2-3% scalp, sweet. TP1 stops break even. You make some money. That's all that matters. Now this one, we come back up. We did not reject heavily. And now this is happening at the same time that range highs. So this previous one probably happened somewhere in here, right? Comes down here. This is the same point probably where this bounces. And you get the second test higher. But now you put in a div here. And again, you accept back below, and it gives you very clear acceptance back below here. A few hourly closes. If you look at the hourly chart, you've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours to position into this as it fails to flip or close any substantial closure above that level. And not only that, you can see that like, okay, this was the first rejection. This was a higher high. This was a higher low. We're failing to make another higher high. Like you have a div lower than this one, so it is a lower high, and you're before you reach whatever. So like, we're clearly losing momentum. You have 9 hours above. Easy to take a position. Take it on the low end. I don't know. Take it wherever. Put your stop above this one. This was the last structural high. So even if we do, for whatever reason, do a liquidity grab here, but we're not actually bullish because we're not going to make a higher high, you're good, right? Again, just target a nice 7% move. Boom, you hit it. But yeah, like take a look through Woods' videos because support and resistance, and you'll get a general idea of trading because guys who understand the general idea, how to use the bots with that. So Woods is the master, Woods is the teacher. He'll give you guys that, and you can learn from that and then come and reference this video again and go back and back test the same way that I taught you how to back test with the commands inside of Discord. And I suggest you do it, and I suggest you spend as many hours as you literally can, especially when markets are like this, because if you're serious about this, that's what you got to do. Like, it's what it's all about. It's about putting in those hours, building the repetition of what this looks like, the pattern recognition, understanding these things so that you can execute and you can make money. And if you're just sitting around, the markets are slow and getting involved with good, yeah, sure, you'll make money. But like, if you're serious about this, you want to do this for a living, you want to be a proficient trader, reach your goals, so give whatever you want to your family and yourself and shit. It's like, put in the time. I'm giving you guys literally the fucking keys to the city with this. It's like, teach you how to back test, teach you what to look for to back. Literally need to put in the work. Use the chat, use the community for your execution, for your idea bouncing. Like, all the tools for you guys are here. It's just up to you how much and how far you want to take this. So, but that's Monday range. And then the other way you can use Monday range that we've been over is like SFPs. So if you SFP Monday's range, like we talked about, like for example's sake, just say that this was Monday's range. Just say this is the range here. That's Monday's low. This is Monday's high. You would also obviously receive an alert inside the Discord that you swept Monday's high. So you would have not only your 30-minute divergence with an SFP, you would have your other alert here for bot saying Monday's high was swept. And yeah, basically that's how you can do the Monday range. So any questions on range, additional way to play these 30-minute divergences? No, nothing at all. All right, cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I hope that this helps you guys understand a bit more about how to execute these 30-minute divergences or BOS divergences, like we just talked about with TACO when we looked at what the number means there. And again, like I'm just a singular trader. I trade different than everyone else. So the ways that I view the market, these are fundamental things, supply and demand, SFPs, the Monday range and stuff, but people execute differently. And so that's why I want to continue to bring people on like King next week and some of these other traders that have just been killing it, that have been coming up. And, we have Cheddar, we have Chi Talk, anyone who's willing to come up, it's like, I'm going to talk to these people in the future and see if we can collab and do some streams where they can explain how they view the market through our bots, how they execute, what they look for, things like that. Because I want more diverse opinions and viewpoints on what they look for and whatnot. So I don't want to bring you guys that content. And I think the community that we've built here and what we have, and the thing that I love is that it's all positivity. There's no bullshit. There's no negativity. There's no talk. Like there's no wrong answer with anything. It's just everyone is here to see everyone else succeed. And so I want to see if other people are willing to come up and share their experiences and stuff, because I think it does nothing but benefit this community. And there's nothing to be afraid of with coming up, right? Like it's this. We have probably one of the most positive communities I've ever seen with what we have. So, let's keep doing it. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep growing together. Times are shit right now. I'm doing everything in my power to, the positivity and the motivation high through the Twitter, through inside the Discord, through teaching, through showing you how you can backtest and the different things you can do in the downtimes. And yeah, like we're never going to stop literally grinding for your guys' win. And so I hope that these have helped, and I hope that the 30-minute divergence showcase today helped you guys understand a little bit more. And again, as always, if you have questions, like please ask me now. And then if not, always free to ask in Gold Chat general. So yeah, no problem. No problem, fam. I love doing these for you. Woods, like I said, was my mentor. Without him and his willingness and energy and teaching me and many others, I wouldn't be where I am today. So I absolutely love being able to give that back to you guys. Yeah. All right, fam. If no one else has any questions, like I said, chats, and we'll wrap this one up. I think it was a good session. Anyone who doesn't know some of the fundamental things that I'm explaining, Woods videos on YouTube there, take a look at our education channel that I linked below it, which will teach you what our divergences are, and then just get active with backtesting, shoot any questions in the chat and stuff, and myself and everyone else will be more than happy to help. So, all right, stay positive, fam. I feel like this range is going to come to an end here. It's been a long one, but I feel like we've been productive inside of this group and as a community, and we're going to continue to do that. So let's keep pushing. All right, guys. Love you all. I'll talk to you next week. Bring Big King on. He can show us how he looks. It's exciting. All right, guys. See you in the chats. Take care.